Hey everybody and welcome back. Today I have Kennedy in the chair. Kennedy is 7 years old. She wants everybody to know that she is just small for her age and everyone really thinks she's 6. And today Kennedy is getting her hair done for her dance recital. Now, if you don't understand recitals are basically everybody's in uniform and their hair is always the same. I think most recitals have different sets, so different sets have different hairstyles and different costumes. So clearly y'all know I'm about to start setting up where I am going to blow dry Kennedy's hair. But yeah, they gave her an assigned hairstyle, so her mom showed it to me, and it's basically 3 braids at the top with a small braid in between the braids, and then the rest of it pulled back into like a chunky bun, a low chunky bun. So that is her assigned hairstyle for today, and we are going to get it done. Now, once I have Kennedy's hair combed out from ends to roots, I am going to do the tension method today. That's when you hold the hair and stretch it and run that hot air over her hair just to stretch it out prior to putting the brush in. Because Kennedy's hair is nice and tight, like she never gets pressed or anything like that, I like to use the tension method on people like her simply because it helps with just once you put that brush in there, you don't want to hurt the client or anything. So I just think it's best to stretch the hair first instead of putting the brush straight into that textured hair like that. It's just such an easier method, especially even when you're blow drying your own hair. It just makes it so much easier. I'm also using a Denman paddle brush for her hair. A lot of times if I don't mention it in the video, I will totally put the link for it below in the box below under the video. So anything you're looking for, anything I'm using in the video, I usually tag below. If I forget, I know you guys will remind me, but I will put the link for the Denman brush below. I do not have the link for the blow dryer anymore because once we sold it off of Amazon and it sold out, they never put it back. They just never put it back. So, this blow dryer can be found in most beauty supply stores. It's called the Ceramic Red 2500. So just look for it in your beauty store because child, Amazon said forget it. So as you see, her hair blew out nice and straight. And I am just going to blow dry the rest of her hair off camera. And now it's done. Look at Kennedy, so beautiful. And yeah, so her hair blew out nice and straight. She does need her ends trimmed, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to get straight to the styling, and then we will trim it another time. And I'm just setting up to start braiding her hair. So now that I have this first section parted out, I am just going to take a little bit of Shine Jam and I'm going to apply it to this section. I don't like to use too much product. It's just something that I noticed over time when I watch YouTube or watch people's videos on Instagram. Like a lot of product ends up in a lot of buildup, and it's like we end up with just a lot of lint and dust and all of that in our hair, and that's because that product is attracting it. So my personal opinion is not to use as much product as most, because it really does end up, it might seem like it's going to be neater, but I feel like the hair gets older a lot faster. So now that I'm basically finished this first braid, look at Kennedy's face. She is ready to go. Okay. Now we're gonna do the little braid. So the little braid goes right next to the first big braid. This is as requested by her dance teacher. And I'm just gonna go in again, put just a little bit of shine and jam on this braid. On this piece of hair. And I'm gonna go in and do the mini braid. One thing about doing children's hair is, I try to do it as fast as I can and not take on any hairstyles that's going to take all day, because children get very impatient, as do adults. Especially when you had to wash, blow dry, sit them under the dryer, and style them. It's a lot for them. So I try to always go with styles that is going to be done quite quickly, because I just don't want them stressed out in the salon. I also have a stylist at the salon, at my salon, that specializes in children's hair. And when I say she is like legit number one, follow her on Instagram. I'll put it in the box below. Her Instagram is hair music, and she does not play when it comes to the kids. She does great hair all the way around, but them kids, she don't play. And she does styles that take a longer time to do, and she seems to always keep the kids engaged and just chilling. So if you're ever looking for a stylist in the Philly area, hair music got you, because she is literally number one. Now I'm just going to skip and show you the two braids done on the both sides of the big braids. As you see, Kennedy is tapping out. I was like, go ahead, girl. You could just lay down. I got you. One time I did my niece's hair on YouTube, and I talked about how, when my niece, she was moving around and then she was laying down. And I'm like, look, when I do kids, I just do it their way. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever makes them the most comfortable so we can get through it, that's what we're going to do. Now, next we are going to press the remaining part of Kennedy's hair, because although she's getting a bun today, she's going to be doing a lot of dancing around, jumping around, and sweating. So we just want to make her bun a little more on the smooth side and be able to combat any heat coming from her scalp while she is dancing, to help it last a lot longer. And we're just going to go through each section of hair one time with one pass. That is the healthiest way. And we are just going to press her hair out so it can be nice and slick for her performance. As you all know, I'm using the 22 Titania in the color Smoke and Mirrors to press her hair. And these can be found on deeperthanhair.com. I will also put a link below for these flat irons. Another thing with kids, especially if they are getting ponytails or a bun, is that I would like to not clamp their iron closed, but so close to the scalp, because I just don't want them to, kids, us, we will feel a little heat and we can contain ourselves a little bit. With kids, they feel a little heat and they will run to the front door. Okay, so I just like to either just come a little bit away from that scalp when I tap that iron in, or go to the scalp and pull off much quicker than I would with an adult. And it's also like, once you hit a kid with heat, or they feel a little burn action, you lose their trust. And Lord knows, it's kind of like when I'm on an airplane. If it's too much turbulence in the beginning of the flight, I just I just want to get off. Like, let me off right here, seriously, because I just lose my trust in the whole rest of the flight. So that's kind of like how kids are. Like, they lose their trust if they get a little bit of, a heat or a little bit of like burn. So just want to be careful when it comes to them. Sorry, I know y'all probably just heard my dog bark twice in the background. Like, that's Massimo, and he's insane. Probably a plastic bag rolled by the front door, and that's got him in a tizzies. Now, Kennedy wears her hair natural all the time, braids, puffs, all kind of things. And when she saw her hair straight like this, she was going off. I love my hair. Please, can I leave it like this? She was so excited. And she just like, I think it was more so about how long it was because she just kept looking back and swinging it back and forth, looking at it. And she's like, it's so long. And I'm like, right. And that's exactly how I feel about my hair, even now, not even just as a kid. I feel like that now. I love when my hair is longer. It's just a preference for me. Like some people love shortcuts, some people like mid length, some people like curly hair. You know, it's all about what you love. But for kids, I just always want to make sure, although you see me pressing hair a lot, I always want to make sure to instill the fact that your hair texture is beautiful no matter what it is. So I wrote a children's book a couple years ago called All Hair is Good Hair, and I will also put a link for it below, just so maybe you might want to get it for your little ones because it is very important for them to know that. Now I know that I was talking during that part, but I used Murray's wax to lay Kennedy's hair down because it's just going to fight. It's just going to fight for her, okay? It's going to fight. She's about to be performing and she's going to be sweating, and that Murray's is going to fight. So that's why I chose that. You have to kind of know what products to choose for certain hairstyles, for certain textures, for certain events and situations. Like I just did Tika Sumter is one of my celebrity clients, and I just went to Mexico to do her hair. And it's like I chose Murray's for her too because being out in that humidity out in Mexico by the water, okay, you had to know certain things will fight for you when you put it in your hair during certain weather conditions. So Murray's is the one when you're trying to fight that heat and humidity. Now I'm just going to take some synthetic hair for Kennedy's bun, and I am going to put a ponytail holder around it and create a loop. See what I did? Probably not, but I've done it in a few videos, but if you could kind of figure out what I just did. So once I put her hair in a regular ponytail, I'm just going to take this loop that I put around the additional hair, and I'm going to attach those braids along with, the extension ponytail and her real ponytail, and we just going to whip it all up together. The braiding hair that I chose is also in the color, I want to say number 2. You always want to be very particular when you're choosing the colors because you want it to match perfectly, and it is matching Kennedy's hair perfectly. Now I'm just giving her a little subtle baby hair action. Baby hairs were definitely part of the requirements on the sheet that her teacher gave out. So it was just a little baby hair where the braids are and making sure that those sides were slicked back. So that's what we are doing now. And now what I'm doing is I'm separating a piece because that's to cover the base. And I'm going to take this braiding hair and I am going to do one big jumbo braid. So if you want to do this style and you want a smaller bun, all you have to do is use less braiding hair. Maybe do half of it, a third of the pack, and just do a smaller braid, which will in turn create a smaller bun. But as requested, her bun was supposed to be a little big juicy bun, so we used a full pack of, actually I bought one of those packs where it was like three pieces of, I don't know what to call them, like three, I don't want to call them bundles because it's not a bundle, but kind of like that. And I just used one of those. So now that I have it braided down to the bottom, I am just going to just spin it around like a normal little easy bun and lay it right into place. And I'm going to take some hairpins and lock it down. Now I didn't film all the hairpins, but I put about I want to say about a good 8. Because she's dancing, I probably should have used even more, but it felt super secure. And now I'm going to take that remaining hair and I'm just going to wrap it around so it could cover any parts of the ponytail holder or anything that's showing that shouldn't be, just to keep it nice and neat. Now I'm just finishing off with some glass brilliant shine, and I'm doing it quickly because, in Kennedy's words, not mine, I can barely see without my glasses, and I didn't want to get the oil all over her lenses, so we hurried up and got that oil down, and she put her glasses right back on. I love this girl. She was telling me all kind of cool things, and she's just so smart. Like, the kids are just so wise these days, and it just makes me want to talk to them even more because it's just a peaceful time. So now Kennedy is done, and she is going to perform at her recital the very next day, and check her out. She gonna turn around, give you all angles, baby, you know what I mean? And then I feel like her braids came out pretty good, and this is a pretty good style. It seems like it'll really stay intact while you dance. I know a lot of times they do ponytails and stuff like that, but this is pretty good. I love it for her. And hopefully you can recreate this at home if you want to for your little one, and if you do, make sure you hashtag Deeper Than Hair TV. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.